Welcome, everybody, to the Sonoma Spiel. My name is Tim with the Sonoma Valley Visitors Bureau, and you never know what's going to happen on the Spiel. We'll get to that in a second. Guys, today, it's early spring, almost spring here in Sonoma, and Trash and Fashion is starting, and at the Visitors Center, we got one of the most beautiful dresses put in there on a mannequin. The mannequin's kind of creepy, as all mannequins are, but it's a dress made out of the cages from champagne corks or sparkling wine corks. And it's beautiful. It's really cool, and it's in there, and it's kind of publicizing the upcoming Trash and Fashion. So if you get a chance, come check it out. But it's feeling like spring, guys. It's feeling like spring. And when things are spring, things turn green. And when things turn green, it reminds me of my very special guest. I know every week I say I have a very special guest. This week I actually mean it. And we're talking things that are green. I've got Van Solkov with Happy Travelers Tours. Hi, Van.
Hi, Tim.
How are you doing?
I'm great.
And before we started, we're laughing is like I was trying to set up these cameras and get everything going, and you said basically you've had colonoscopies that were done quicker than this. And
so it's all good. I'm
doing my best.
Yeah, it's the equipment. It's all
the equipment.
It's not.
Equipment doesn't matter. They both involve cameras.
Unfortunately.
And bearing your insides.
We're gonna do some truth telling. Truth telling.
You're right there.
Love it.
Van.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, first of all, your name is Van, your last name is Solkov. The business is Happy Travelers Tours.
Yeah.
Van, where are you from? Where did you grow up?
I am a Sonoma County native.
Are you really?
Born and raised in the city of Santa Rosa.
Look at you. Go Panther?
Yeah, cool. Class 76.
Okay. That's Santa Rosa.
Valedictorian.
Shut up. For Santa Rosa High?
Yeah.
We're going to go back and find that photo.
It's a good one.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. I had my full Jufro.
Did you have a bow tie, too, in the photo?
No, but still, I look good. I'm just a mess of curly hair.
And those who are not watching on YouTube, he still has a massively huge afro. It's fantastic. It's just piles of hair.
Oh, yeah.
Just coming, cascading down. Right. It looks like a Hair the Musical, a redo.
Not even close.
So you grew up here in Sonoma.
Yeah, we were free-range Santa Rosa kids back in the mid-'60s.
Okay.
We had that amazing experience of growing up in Santa Rosa when it was, 30,000 people or less.
Right.
And we literally, during the summer, we would leave the house at, 7 in the morning, whatever. Whole herd of kids, man, we were off from where we were over in Hidden Valley, and we'd work our way over to Howard Park or...
You were all on your bikes?
It was a herd.
Did you have a bike that had...
Stingray.
Stingray. So you have a baseball card in the back?
Yeah, totally.
That makes it go faster.
Well, it sounds cool.
It does.
And we'd all hum the Batman song.
Oh, good. As you do. That was.
Oh, we were tough.
Okay.
We were cool.
So I've got your place and time and space.
Yeah.
I know.
That was it.
From
my hair was short then too. So and then the only rule was, my mom's rule was don't make me ring the bell. Oh. And she had a big old bell hanging on our deck.
That's fantastic.
And if she dinged that thing, it echoed through the valley.
And you had to come back.
Oh, you need to be there before it rang.
Oh, smart.
That was the only rule.
That was the only rule. So you grew up free-range child of Santa
Rosa. Crazy.
And, so now we established where you're from. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about this. You have a business that's called Happy Travelers Tours.
Yes.
And what is it? And
how did
tell me
it
about
happen?
it. How did it start? Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, well, we are the Sonoma Valley's original cannabis tour.
Okay.
And we're still...
I'm going to hold this
still standing. Yeah,
okay.
We're still standing. We started in 2018.
Okay.
Now, we've had to do some pivots and some changes, but for the most part, we specialize in hospitality experiences.
Okay.
And our goal is to, on the cannabis side, our goal is to educate.
Okay.
When I got into the industry, the model that was operating for a tour was pretty much, it's a party bus moment. Climb on board, bring some stash, bring your favorite bong. This is all out of L.A. We're going to roll on up to the Temecula wine country. You guys can get stoned while we go. And then once we get up there, we're going to drink wine and then come back.
Well, I'm sure the wineries love that.
Well, that was the model. And
my gosh.
in June of 2018, when I was doing the research for this thing, that's what I found. And I was like going, well, that's just silly.
So a winery that would have a really refined experience.
Here come a bunch of stoned out people in a party mode.
Oh, man.
And see, to me, that's the problem. It was in a party mode.
Yeah.
So what we've done over the years is we've made sure that any of our and all of our itineraries contain an educational component.
Okay.
And that's how we differentiate. To the point, really, there's not a lot of consumption.
Yeah, you're more of a refined.
Well, it's education.
It's sort of, I mean, the analogy I've heard is like you can go on wine tours and people aren't pounding wine on wine tours. You're going there to learn about wine.
Correct.
You do taste wine, but you also see grapes and you might learn about the process.
Right.
And you took that kind of model for cannabis.
Totally. And that is the point, is that if so hold on a sec. Let's pause for a sec. So like my journey to cannabis itself is not the typical story, right? So, we grew up in the times of fast times at Ridgemont High, and sure, back in high school, it was the Jeff Spicoli model, who wasn't going to do that, right? Especially in Sonoma County. We had Sonoma Coma. It was all over the place. We were in band.
In the 70s and 80s, for reference for people who are listening, the North Bay, and especially further north, was definitely a place for, at the time, what they call pot or weed to be grown.
Oh, yeah.
But it wasn't in any form legal at all.
Oh, gosh, no. In the 70s, it was all black market.
It was all, yeah. So this
you
is
were an outlaw.
Completely different.
Totally.
Different model.
And we were the band kids in high school. You
played in a band. Not like you were ostracized, but you were in a band.
Well, no, we were in the band in school.
You were a band kid.
So we were the nerds.
What instrument did you play? You're a woodwind guy?
I was a saxophone player then. Yeah.
Tenor?
Well, I was actually the baritone player because, as you can tell,
voice.
No, I was 4'11", and they thought it was funny that the baritone sax could march by itself down the street. That was the visual.
It's got two shoes.
Yeah, look at that thing go. So,
so you're in the band kids.
Yeah. So this was the thing, right? Is we were in the jazz band, unit. So we were always doing the special events, basketball games, cheerleader stuff, all that. Cool. And, of course we were getting stoned. Of course.
Jazz band, Devil's Lettuce. I'm on to you.
Are you kidding
I know what's going on with you guys.
And this is the thing.
You band kids.
Right. And this is what I love about this is people forget that the band nerds of today became the rock and roll heroes of tomorrow, right? Which is, right. Now, okay, so fast forward then, and I'm in my mid-30s, and I'm in an accident, and that's where my life changes. Basically, I was in a bicycle accident out at Wohler Bridge in West County.
You were riding your bike?
Bicycle. It was a big group ride, a fundraiser. My cousin was a sponsor of it. This was like the third year of the event.
Okay.
There were about 10 or 11 people in my group, mixed group. I was on a mountain bike, but there were people on street bikes and 10 speeds, all that. Anyway, coming down the Wohler Hill towards the east side Wohler Bridge or Wohler Road fork, and I was at the back of my group, and people were kind of drifting up Wohler Road towards River Road, and we were supposed to go left towards east side. So as I'm coming down the hill, I could see that, and I was at the back, and I sat up, and I kind of said, "Hey, we all got to go left." And so as I'm kind of coming down and putting my hands on my handlebar, there's a woman on the right-hand shoulder who evidently hears me say, "Go left." And so she does without checking. And the problem is...
So she was also on a bicycle?
Yeah. And here's all the logistics. She's tiny, this woman, like 100-pounder, wet, on a 10-speed street bike. And me, at that time, I was 235 pounds coming down a hill on a mountain bike at 25 miles an hour. Man. That's a bad picture. So she goes left, and she's basically in the studio. She's the door.
Wow.
And I'm coming at 25 miles an hour. And so I'm going to T-bone her. And because of the way human bodies don't bend, if I do T-bone her, she's going to die. It's just not going to be good.
Right.
So she's coming this way. I pushed my bike as hard as I could to the right. As I intersected her, I clipped her rear wheel. When I pulled myself on center, I was in the middle of the Y intersection at the bottom of the hill, bunch of tire gravel from cars. Right. So as I pulled myself on center, everything just went sideways.
You lost the bottom.
So yeah, I pulled myself to the left. I went sideways. I hit the ground once, bounced off the ground, kicked the bike loose, hit the ground the second time, and darkness ensued.
Whoa.
So the upshot of the impact was I crushed 12 vertebrae. My My sacrum is flat from left to right. My lumbar spine is it's wrecked. I've had partial laminectomy at L3. My T5 and T6 are desiccated. I had put my arm up to protect my head. So my ribs took the impact. So my T5, T6 are kind of like the core of it. And then when my head hit, it pancaked my C4-5 vertebra that pushed against my spinal cord. So I have it's right here.
Holy cow. So your entire spinal column was just wrecked.
I've been told it's crazy that I walk.
Yeah, I'm wondering how you walk. After
Slowly.
you describe all that. And occasionally with a mobility device.
Slowly.
So
the point being that
you were in your 30s in this.
Yeah, 35. So it's been 31 years coming up Labor Day weekend.
Right, but that's not like the more you get past 20, the less pliable your body is.
Oh well, we're lucky it happened when it happened.
Yeah,
seriously.
If you were 55, it'd be.
Yeah, no. Gone. So at this point in my life, so what happened was I left the hospital, and they handed me the bag of opiates, whatever it was, right? And they said, you're going to need these. Yeah, no, they just said, you're going to need these.
Yes.
And my attitude was, oh boy, that's a bad idea.
Okay.
Because I know my own personality.
Right.
That would be a very bad idea.
Okay.
And here we are 31 years later. There's no way we're having this conversation. If you start eating that stuff, you're dead.
Right, yeah.
So I had to revisit cannabis. It'd been a while. Now I have to go back and try to figure it out. And, of course, the problem was in my mid-30s, I'm in my corporate career. And I have a graduate degree, and I'm working for a very conservative insurance company, and it's the late 80s.
You were in the corporate world.
And, you can't, at that time, and even unfortunately today, you just can't, it's not like, oh, have a scotch, or have a kombucha, or have a beer, or here, roll a joint. No, that does not happen, and that was the problem, of course. Because for me, the real issue is I can only sit or hold one position for so long before I got to shift. It's just constant pain management. Right. And that's just the reality of it. It's my I don't even remember, right? It's been so long. So cannabis, right? So what do you do with this stuff? And of course, we're talking about, this happens to me in 1990. My older son was born in 91. So, what do you do, right? There's nothing you can do. You have to figure it out as you go, right? And so, of course, what it meant was a lot of camouflage, which is just ridiculous. Oh, hey, it's lunchtime. Oh, hey, guess I'll go out and get a sandwich. And then, you're out there and you're like smoking a bowl, and then you're like putting eye drops in your eyes and spraying cologne on and eating, all because you just needed to smoke, a bowl, right? Meanwhile, the bosses are, drinking scotches and snorting wine. They don't, it's like, but no. And then, so it gets a little better. As I got further in my career, I ended up in tech. Okay. And tech's a little more relaxed, but you still don't get to just walk around smoking weed. But with no, it's true,
That's true.
Listeners, you all know what I'm talking about. So, but with vapes, at least came the ability to, now it's easier, right? Well, yeah, it's a lot easier. It's not as much camouflage. Right.
Well, okay, let me ask you, because you know the whole history then.
Yeah.
When did it move from being, fully illegal, then some states started doing what they called medicinal? Yeah,
medicinal,
Was
right.
it the early 2000s?
No, we did Prop 215 in 98.
So it was 90s, okay.
Yeah, late 90s.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's only been about 25 years then.
Oh, yeah, no, it's still the devil's lettuce to lots of people.
And was California one of the first movers on that?
Colorado was one.
Colorado, okay.
Yeah, Colorado was first, Washington was second.
And then we're going to speed up real quick. When we get to, when is it like open, what they call adult recreational use or adult use?
Oh, that was 2018.
2018. So when you started your business.
Yeah, that's how it triggered.
So, but really it was like 20 years where it was this weird quasi-medical,
yeah, and it was still, let's just, at the national level, folks, let's just call it what it is. The cannabis plant is being treated, it's wrong in the sense that everybody taxes this thing at every step of its developmental life. It's insane, right? And California followed that model, and here we are. capturing 10% of the market. Callie, good job.
I don't think there's a single person listening, and there's thousands listening, that would say that we've done this.
No,
the best
totally.
way.
No, it's
no matter where you are on the political spectrum, on the
agreement.
Everyone kind of goes, "Boy, we
missed it."
Yeah.
And then to be point specific,
right?
Sonoma really missed it. I mean,
the county you're talking about.
No, the Sonoma County loves to hate cannabis. Let's call it what it is. They know it, and they're stuck in that reality, and it's the wine lobby, and it's the perception, and the perception is really flawed. Because it's a perception that says, well, we have 300-acre vineyards. Someone's going to want a 300-acre cannabis grow, and that's insane, right? If you knew anything about cultivating I'm almost there.
I'm asking, is there cross-contamination between
Well, it's not
grapes?
even that. It's just that size, scope, and scale in Sonoma County, look at our geography. Where are you going to do it?
You're going to end up going up on a hill.
It's going to be in a hill.
After 20 acres,
right,
you go up.
Right, and it's just the dumbest
kind of worry.
Yeah, it's not even close to reality. Central Valley, sure, 400-acre cannabis farm in the Central Valley. Yeah, it's flat.
Right.
Let them do it. Sonoma County, no, you're nuts. And I know this because I've been on big grows, and you can't manage them. If you take an acre, which is the legal limit, and you fill that acre with you're going to put 20,000 cannabis
as close
plants.
As you can. Just smash in there.
You're nuts. You just created a nightmare for yourself.
Interesting.
It's too much, right? It's not nearly. It's so intensive. A single cannabis plant takes so much time.
Okay.
You have 20,000 of them crammed into an acre. You don't have the time. You can't do it.
You can't do it.
Yeah. So scale, and that's where Sonoma County, Again, we could break down the whole thing starting in 2017 about the amnesty permits and then about the folks out with the SOS neighborhoods and all this crazy, but it's not worth it. At this juncture, it's just we're here and where we stand, one more point, where we stand at the beginning of the grow season for 2024, outdoor grow season is just about to start.
Okay.
And Sonoma County has 21 permitted outdoor grows.
21.
Think about that.
And how many, just for point of comparison, how many do you think vineyards do we have? Do we have more
we have 455 wineries. So how many vineyards are there? I mean,
so what you're telling me, Van,
there's a little disproportionate. So there's an attitude issue in the county, and it's okay.
Right.
It's fine, right? It's fine. But because Sonoma County is bigger than just the 101 corridor, the county's attitude towards cannabis impacts people all the way up to Annapolis.
Gotcha.
Right. And this is, okay, great, yay.
Which Annapolis is on the Sonoma coast.
Yeah, all
not
the way
Maryland.
up.
Yeah.
2.5 hours from here if we started driving.
Way up there.
Yeah, okay. So, just means then that being in the cannabis tourism industry in Sonoma County is in and of itself challenging.
You have a lot of hoops. Like if you were just doing a walking tour around the plaza, you need a pair of shoes and a cell phone. If you were to do a wine tour, you need to add a van. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
But it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
But now there's another level where if you're doing cannabis tours, one, finding places to go.
It's very difficult.
B, figuring out the rules, which I want to get into in a second.
Yeah.
For how the customer can access and learn and educate.
Right.
And also consume.
Right.
I'm assuming that's what they're.
There's a lot of rules.
And then also how to handle money on this, because like from the cannabis people, for those who don't know, on the federal level, cannabis actually isn't legal. So a lot of the traditional banking systems like Wells Fargo, Citibank, oftentimes wouldn't give you a loan to be a cannabis farmer, even if it was legal where you are, or they wouldn't handle your credit card fees, your transactions.
I don't even want to get into because I'm in an ancillary industry. I'm not even in, I mean, I don't really touch
your
cannabis.
Collateral damage.
But for me to get a bank account.
So let's start with this though. You have this tours, Happy Travelers
Tours.
Tell me about your average tour and your average tour taker.
Yeah, sure. That's great. So, most of our guests are frankly neophytes, or they haven't visited with cannabis since college. Okay. That's the
And when you say they're since college, I'm assuming they might be older.
Yeah, they are. A lot of my
50s
guests
and 60s.
are in. They're. I have a lot of stories that kind of cover a spectrum of demographic, right? But yeah, most folks are in their 40s and older.
Okay.
Many guests come on a cannabis tour to get educated because their kids are starting to experiment, and they might be in the Midwest and they may not have access to information that's legit.
Right.
And they, for them, it is the devil's lettuce, and we need to help them understand it's not. I've had guests flat out tell me the reason why we're here is because we don't know what to do. Our teenagers we know they're starting to experiment. We've never touched this stuff.
Wasn't their world.
Before we lower the parental boom, we want to get educated. And I applaud people that will do that. Now, after their educational experience, they might still come away and rightly so lower the parental boom on their teenage kids. Let's be real about it, right? Teenagers shouldn't be smoking weed any more than they should be smoking cigarettes, drinking booze, or sipping wine in wine country. It's just, come on, developmental brains are developmental brains.
It's not the time.
It's not the time.
And teenagers already have a hard time making good decisions.
We know that.
Any parents.
And adult men, too, but that's a different story.
We were just talking about our teenagers when we started. We're like, their brains, like I always say, they're kind of like, they're still cooling. They're still coming out of the oven. They're still warm. They're still pliable. So they're still pliable. Eventually they'll firm up when they're 35. So back to your choice.
Yeah. So basically, at this point, we've refined it. We've got 3 itineraries that we run pretty regularly. One is our seasonal farm tour. You can only go see cannabis plants in the dirt when they're in the dirt, and they are only in the dirt from basically second or third week of May up until Croptober.
So May through October.
Yeah, very similar.
In the Northern Bay Area.
Yeah. And and then there's just the logistics of the farm tour itself. Again, Sonoma County loves to hate cannabis. Ergo, why would they love cannabis tourism? They don't. So that's just another.
Yes, so you have to find a farm that you can go to.
I do have a farm I go to. I've got a great relationship with the farmer. We will be running tours again this year.
Oh, great.
And if folks are interested in that tour, they just, visit the website, get a hold of me, and we'll talk about it.
People love, ag-tourism is big.
Oh, yeah.
People love it for apples. They love it for baby sheep. Wine. Wineries. People love wineries. So
goat yoga. Come on. Let's go.
When you go to a cannabis farm, what do they see? What's it like?
Well, it's interesting because we do the same thing at the cannabis farm that we do at the indoor grow. Well, pretty much. I mean, we can touch the plants a little bit more at the cannabis farm than we can at the indoor grows because it's a clean, green environment. We don't want to futz with them per se, but we can get up close and personal to the cannabis plants in both of those environments. So, and you have to think about this, even if I have a chronic guest, someone who's, always smoking weed, the chronics, most folks have never seen a cannabis plant. It's just the truth. I mean, they get their weed from their buddy Bill or their, whoever.
We know that guy, Bill.
Yeah, that guy,
Jeez,
Bill.
The corner.
Yeah, Bill. He's that guy. So the point being that most folks have never seen a cannabis plant in the dirt. And certainly if you're visiting an artisanal farmer, someone who really knows what they're doing, this experience is, no different than a winemaker tour of a vineyard. Right? Same thing. We're talking about a varietal, and of course, cannabis plants have varietals, right? Not only just sativas and indicas, but then all the, variations on those themes, just like we have, Merlots and Petit Verdus and Chardonnays. You got the same things going on with cannabis plant. There's a lot of variety to it. So, and there's a lot of education that goes with that, and there's so much science with these things. And it's still a weed, literally. If you've got a cannabis seed, folk, just, throw that thing in the dirt and water it once. It's going to sprout. It's going to grow. You're going to have a cannabis plant. It's a flippin' weed. Now, with that said, you can put a lot of time into it and turn it into something that you're really proud of.
The analogy I've heard, like anyone can make wine by putting grapes in a bucket.
Yeah, right.
Warming up that bucket. It won't be the best wine,
but you did it.
But you did.
And the same is true with cannabis. Now, how far you take it is up to you, right? And certainly in my life, I put my hands on plenty of cannabis plants because I had to, if you're using cannabis for pain, which is a totally legit use, that means you're using it when you hurt. So let's talk about it for a second. It's not a narcotic. It's not like eating, a Damitol, or a Screw-It-All. Once you eat those things, you're going to be high for hours, right? You won't feel anything. You can walk into a wall. You won't feel it. That's not what weed does. Come on, let's be honest about it, right?
They don't pull your wisdom teeth when you're
not because you're stoned.
Right.
No, yeah,
they're like, we're going to give you
we're
something
going to knock
strong.
your ass out first. Right. Pardon my French, but yeah. So maybe this is the show, Tim. So the way it works, and this is a bad metaphor, but it's the only one I got, and it works. So if there's a torture where someone is restrained and a drop of freezing cold water is dripped on their forehead at a steady pace, right? After the billionth drop of freezing cold water, that person will say anything to stop the next drop of water because it's the anticipation of the pain and it's the echo of the pain. It's not necessarily the pain itself. Okay, so how does that metaphor work, right? With cannabis, since I know I'm going to get another pain bolt, it's going to happen, it warms up the temperature, if you will, of that drop of water.
Okay.
So it's the same as so now when it hits, it's not nearly as impactful.
Like a drill into your head.
Yeah, right. It's less impactful.
Oh.
Now, so
good analogy.
It's as good as I can get, right? So no, it doesn't take it away. But at least it makes it less of a nuisance. And I personally, in my life, I have 12 active pain centers. They're always having a conversation every minute of the day. I don't meditate because I don't need to be any more present than I am because I am present in every single minute of every. Yeah. You don't get a break, right? So
Van, you were going back. You've touched for someone who's been around cannabis plants, right? When you see the photos of a harvested plant, they're huge.
They can be.
Is that like people just showing off, or is that just like actually? You know what I mean? Like you can have a plum tree that's massive and beautiful, but you can't really. The plums aren't that good.
Right. Yeah. So it's a maybe. So the artisanal guys that I visit and hang out with. Now these are the guys that are growing. If Cali lets you have 6 mature plants at harvest per residence on your property.
Oh, okay. So this is not for a farmer. This
is artisanally, a little more subtle.
Right.
Okay. So what those guys tend to do is, you game the system a little bit, right? You use some autoflowers and you get a bunch in early like right at the freeze break. So right in the first week or so of May. And you let those autoflowers go and you pull those things before the end of August and you've got one full harvest before Croptober because of, again, it's the autoflowers are plants that are going to flower as soon as you put them outside.
Thank you. Okay.
That's what they're going to do.
So the cycle is sped up.
Yeah, it's already.
And they're a transplant then. They're not a
they're coming from an indoor environment and they're going outdoor and they pop. Okay, great. So some of those guys goose it and they get, 2 harvests because then at harvest they've still got 6 plants that they put in the dirt that didn't pop flower until solstice. Okay. So if you just take a regular cannabis plant and you nurture it and you put it outside in that, second week of May or so, what it's going to do for the next month is what they call veg. It's just going to get taller and shaggy and push out a lot of leaves. And what will happen then is on solstice, June 21st, the next day, it's 1 second less light outside. And that is the trigger for the plant to start flowering.
So it's very light sensitive.
It's 100%. That's how they trick them. Indoor grows. They just change the spectrum of the UV spectrum and they fool the plants. Now, if you have a 120-day grow, that's how long it takes the plant to go from flower to harvest, and they flower on June 22nd.
Right.
When are they going to harvest? September, October.
Okay, interesting.
It all just depends on most cannabis plants harvest are 75, 90, or 120 days. Okay. That's their cycle. Okay, so you can do a lot of things as an artisanal grower,
right,
where you still have, to the letter of the law, 6 mature plants at harvest, right? Gotcha. Because harvest is a time in October, and if you
okay, wait, right. Van, you learned all this stuff. Is there somebody at UC Davis studying this stuff, or like how did?
Well, there are
we at that point now.
Yeah, it's starting to happen. There are actually colleges that are putting out degrees in cannabis now. Different types of degrees. I have an employee who works for me who has a minor in cannabis business.
Oh, business, right.
Yeah, okay, fine.
It's like the wine business at Sonoma State.
Correct. Okay. But there are geneticist programs. And
also biology and plant
science.
I
think the first one that started it was the government one in Kentucky or, it's either Kentucky or Tennessee. And it was a government, I think maybe University of Tennessee. I'm not right on this. But anyway, so studying it, but it's getting more studied. Okay. And there are now more programs through accredited colleges that are doing geneticists.
Well, it makes sense that if it's becoming a crop that's legally grown and harvested, that you want to be like, oh, there's pests. These pests can spread
there's
other
a lot.
places.
Pest management.
How can we integrate your pest management and stuff like that?
Here, Tim, let's go on a history trip.
Let's go on a history trip with Van.
Here's what most folks in America don't realize. Mm-hmm. When the colonies were founded, we were founded to produce hemp because the British...
The fabric and
because you need the paper. Fabric. So hemp with 50,000 industrial uses, from fabric for sails, rope, oil for ship lamps, you name it. Pennsylvania was going to be the hemp production center of the colonies. And then Kentucky's so ingrained with hemp, they've got this thing called the Hemp Highway, Highway 49 in the state of Kentucky. All these hemp plantations. Oh, shit. You mean they were, what? Hemp plantations? Yeah. George? Alexander? What? Tom? The boys? Yeah, they were growing hemp.
Interesting.
Okay, now with hemp came cannabis. So
related plant.
Well, let's talk about this for a sec.
Okay.
If I have a miniature poodle and I have a standard bred poodle, do I have a poodle?
I feel like I'm in high school biology. I'm on Punnett Square here. Yes, they're both poodles.
They are both poodles.
Okay.
So if
I don't know if it's a trick question.
No, it's not. Okay. So if I have hemp or CBD and I have cannabis or THC, I still have cannabis. They're both cannabis.
They're both the same plant.
They're both the same thing. It's just that, like a standard bred poodle, THC plants are bred to produce THC.
These ones.
And the other one, So the governments of the world decided that there's a narrow band of 0.03% THC, which is then called CBD. Okay, which is the medicine component of the cannabis plant. Okay. And then everything below that is hemp, industrial use. Everything above that is THC, giggles. So CBD is the medicine, THC is the giggles. Okay.
But it's the same compound?
It's all the same stuff, just a different cannabinoid.
Okay.
So there's a whole spectrum of cannabinoids that make up
now
cannabis.
We're going deep into
no, we can go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. This is the problem.
I didn't know we're doing AP science on this.
Come on, Tim, catch up. I'm having a test here. The point is, that's the whole point.
Okay.
This stuff is so complex, right? It goes so deep, so deep.
All right. Yep. Before we go any deeper into the master class here, I do want to talk about the experience with Happy Travelers Tours. So you go on some of your tours, especially in the summer, you can go to a farm.
Yep.
Some of your tours, it's not farming season. November, December.
Yeah, so we have what we call, and this is a great thing because I definitely integrate the intersection of wine and cannabis, wine and weed, if you will.
Right.
We have the indoor dispensary tour, which then partners up, and we visit either a winery for wine tasting or one of our local brew pubs for some of the Sonoma County brews.
For people who don't know, a dispensary is also a retail shop.
Yeah, well, this particular dispensary, which is in Santa Rosa, is the only vertically integrated we grow what we sell what we grow operation in Santa Rosa.
Oh, interesting.
So, rewinding, Sonoma County, the county loves to hate cannabis. It's the city of Santa Rosa as an entity loves cannabis.
So it's inside the largest city in the county.
Yep.
It's called Santa Rosa.
And this is a statistic. 18 Starbucks and 30 cannabis dispensaries.
In Santa Rosa?
In the city of
For
Santa
real?
Rosa. So what does that mean?
That's interesting.
So it the answer is
I don't think I would have noticed that, but that's interesting. Okay,
it's a weird number.
But now, like, I'm thinking my drive home, and okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it also shows that we like.
For 200,000 people.
But I also got to say,
come
hey,
on.
Sonoma County is a little snooty about our coffee, too.
Oh.
So, for the record, we have a lot of good homegrown roasters.
So the fact that there's even 18 Starbucks.
That's what I'm surprised at, right.
It's kind of like remarkable. Right. So
How many of those are inside a Target?
Yeah, right. Well, all of them. I mean, come on. So with the dispensary tour, then what we do is, because I'm a tour,
right,
they take us into their back operation.
Got it. Okay.
And that's huge, because if you want to learn about technology and you want to see what it takes to produce cannabis indoors, these guys are cutting edge, state of the art, 100%. Amazing.
Does this company's name rhyme with Schmanacraft?
No, it does not.
Okay. But is it one of those kind of guys?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Are you allowed to say their name?
I'm sure I am. Floraterra is one of my partners.
Okay.
They have done such a great job with their business.
Okay.
And Dave and Alicia are really nice people.
Oh, nice. Okay.
They're just really good people. Now they have 3 stores.
So you go to a retail establishment.
Yeah, so we do the backroom tour.
Okay.
And just like Disney, when you exit the attraction, you end up in a
Exit
gift
through
shop.
the gift shop.
Yeah. And in this case, it's a dispensary.
Okay.
So, and then that's what happens is, folks, if they do choose,
Right.
they choose to purchase, they can purchase right there from the dispensary.
Okay.
Most folks tend to purchase edibles.
Right.
This is not my preferred mechanism because, again, my use rate and my use pattern is to alleviate discomfort, and the most direct way to do that is through smoking.
Okay.
And I use a pipe exclusively because it's the most efficient way to smoke.
Okay.
Because you hit the pipe once and put that thing out. You're not just burning.
Okay.
You buy a nice big pre-roll at one of the dispensaries, $12, $15,
whole thing.
and it's just burning as you,
Right, right.
That's not useful.
But most of the first-time users, you're saying, or
100%,
people who
it's
go for
crazy.
edibles.
They
And when you say
love
edibles.
edibles.
What varieties are there?
Well, so edibles are a broad spectrum. So it's a little complex in that when you eat cannabis, it has to first get digested, and then it doesn't get absorbed through your stomach. The THC that's been separated out comes in through your liver. So it takes quite a while.
Okay.
And then, of course, because it's been processed first in your stomach and then in your liver, what you experience from the high, if you will, is different than if I smoke it and I get all the cannabinoids that are combusted in the entourage of all the flower with its full spectrum. There's a lot of stuff going on in a flower.
Interesting.
That's not true with an edible. Edibles are produced from extracts. The extract itself has been refined, and there's a bunch of different manufacturing ways to refine it.
Okay.
So sometimes it's 100% pure THC, sometimes it's not 100%, sometimes it's cut and mixed with CBD.
This is almost like how they make vitamins, almost.
Oh yeah, no,
They
it's
take
insane.
the
Yeah,
elements and
totally.
put it into
and it's just
form.
a gummy.
So
Yeah.
because like a gummy is one thing. I've heard of chocolates.
You can put it anywhere.
Anything
It
you
doesn't
can eat,
matter.
basically.
Yeah, you can put it in anything.
Okay.
And it's fine. I mean, it's great if that's what you want to do, right?
But do you think it's because people, smoking,
Well-
rightly so, has a bad rap? I mean, in the 80s,
Sure it does.
we were like, smoking
yeah.
kills you because smoking does.
It
eventually
does.
kill
It kills you. Well, now let's talk about this, though. This is really fascinating.
Okay.
Back to science.
Doodle-doo. Okay.
So, smoke has weight. If you take a hit of something and exhale it into a device, you can weigh it.
There's physical stuff in there.
And it has density.
Okay.
All right. Cigarette smoke is acidic.
Okay.
It's chemistry.
Okay.
A lot of folks get lung cancer, get a lower lobe lung cancer, that right lobe, the lower one. And that's because cigarette smoke, which is acidic, and our chemistry in our human body is acidic.
Okay.
And when you pour more acid into an acid system, you create more acid.
Okay.
And it weighs a certain density, and it drifts down into that lower lobe of the person's lung. And a lot of people get that cancer down there.
Yeah.
Okay, fascinating. Cannabis smoke is alkali.
Okay.
Alkali balances acid.
What?
And
Van.
hold on.
Okay.
And cannabis smoke in that same measurement tool weighs less than the equivalent amount of cigarette smoke.
Okay.
So when you bust a lung because you just ripped a big bong, what you do is you're coughing up here in your upper lobes.
Okay.
Nobody busts that lower lobe down there and starts going, that's not where you're coughing from. You're coughing from your upper chest.
Got it.
All right. Well, so let's just review. Cigarette smoke, heavy, acidic, pour acid into an acid system, corrosive, more corrosion. Alkali balances acid. Introduce alkali into an acid system, and you balance the pH in the system. Oh my gosh! Cannabis smoke is healthy. Oh, who would have thought it was true? I
can neither confirm nor deny. I don't know enough about biology and chemistry
just what it
on
is.
that one. Okay.
So here's what's fascinating.
Right.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Because I do want to get into this.
Yeah,
too
I know. We're almost
okay.
there.
Okay.
Where do you think the largest free-form cannabis discussion marketplace trading center is in the social media world? Which social media platform is where people go to do the cannabis thing? Where do you think it is? Pick a platform.
No idea.
You're wrong.
Like MySpace.
You're wrong.
Reddit.
Doesn't matter. It's LinkedIn. Yeah.
Why is it LinkedIn?
Hold on. It LinkedIn?
Sometimes we post these on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, if you want to sponsor this, you
this
can.
is good.
So tell me why.
Here's
LinkedIn.
why.
Go for it.
Because it's a business knowledge exchange
like a B2B.
platform. That's why. So when I started this business in 2018, I'd been a LinkedIn member for many, many years, and I had like 800 members in my network.
Right.
Here it is. It's been 8 seasons, right? I have 1,600 people in my LinkedIn, and everybody that I've added since 2018, 100% of them are connected to the cannabis industry.
Right.
They are technology people. They are growers. They are geneticists. They are scientists. They are educators.
Well,
it's insane.
And you've brought more science so far to this podcast than I think I've had, even when I've had scientists on. So I'm going to push back on them next time.
Well, and I'm not a scientist. No, I mean, it's like your own health. You only become an expert in your own health stuff because you got to be an expert in your own health stuff. That's all. So ask me about my crown jewel. Ask me about my crown jewel.
So because you have Happy Travelers Tours, you have tours where you go to a retail establishment or dispensary. You go to an indoor farm or grow. You go to an actual farm. But one thing you have, these are very popular around the visitor centers handing these out, is the high tea experience. Talk to me about this. Because I'll read the little blurb if I can.
Go ahead.
Gather your besties for an afternoon in Sonoma and indulge in an unforgettable high tea experience that will leave you feeling elevated. And you say it includes 3 CBD-infused loose leaf teas brewed tableside in traditional British tea service style.
It is.
A sweet and savory treat tower with 3 courses of locally prepared treats, both infused and non-infused, and transportation, but from city of Sonoma to the tea room. Only thing I know about high tea is that sometimes there's a thing called clotted cream, which is the most delicious thing on the planet. Just because it's like fat with sugar put onto a scone, which is also fat with sugar.
We have that.
Tell me about this experience.
So this is great. So CBD, that 0.03% measurement that we talked about a few minutes ago. It is the medicine of the cannabis family. It's a natural anti-anxiety and it's a natural anti-inflammatory medicine. I hurt my body. I was pretty outgoing and athletic before I hurt myself. I ADD adult here, a lot of hyperactivity in my system. I love CBD. It can take a lot of that body anxiety that I have and just relax it. It's good. That's the bottom line on CBD. And they're learning more and more and more and more about it. It's really remarkable what they're learning. All right. So what we do, we get CBD as a food grade supplement, and it comes from a lab in Colorado. So first of all, we have to thank the 2018 Farm Bill. And I know
federal farm bill we're talking about.
Yeah, it's hard to say this one because
very few people come in here and say, I love the farm bill.
Yeah, it's true though.
But let's hear it.
2018, of all people,
Okay, we don't need to say
Yeah, we don't. Yeah,
okay.
yeah, but you
But
know
the Farm
who.
Bill passed.
It passed, and with it came the ability to produce CBD products and consume them. You can go over to the deli at Broadway Deli.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And you can walk into their cold case, and there's a can of soda water in their
Oh, yeah,
cold
I
case.
see that, yeah.
The Center Water.
Yeah.
Center Water is a 12-ounce can of sparkling water that's infused with 30 milligrams of CBD.
Yeah.
You can crack that thing open, drink it down, and then get in your car and drive away
Okay.
without a problem.
'Cause it's not the same effect as
It's
the
not the
THC
same. Correct.
or like alcohol.
Correct.
Okay.
It's CBD. It's innocuous.
Interesting.
Okay. So what we do is we have a high tea experience, just like what you're thinking.
Okay.
It's got the treat towers and it's got the teas and everything.
Do
And
you have doilies?
we do.
You got to have doilies.
Oh, it's full tilt. It's full tilt. We don't mess around. We even, stand there stiffly. It's great. So, and we have an amazing catering partner who prepares all of our treats.
Okay.
A Sonoma local.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you know them.
Okay.
I know them.
Oh.
Sweet pea.
Oh, great.
We love sweet pea.
They're right across the street.
They are right. They're right there.
And they have great. But okay, side note.
Yes.
They used to do these Filipino box lunches. They were really good. Albert would make them. I'd bring them back, man. It was so
Man,
good.
they used to do this salmon on a bagel thing. Oy.
That place is. All right, so
Yeah.
so
Anyway.
you have these
Yeah.
treats.
All right. So what we do then is it's self-infused, right? We don't do anything.
Okay.
We present all the stuff, and what Sweet Pea does for us is they package all the toppings for all the clotted cream, all the stuff goes in little containers.
Okay.
They're on the side. Okay, we set everything up. Everybody gets these packets of the CBD powder. I didn't bring one when I showed up.
powder.
They're 20 milligrams per packet. Now remember, I just said Center Water 30 milligrams.
Okay.
Right. So a 20 milligram packet. Here's your 20 milligram packet. Everybody gets one, and then the tea is from Willie Nelson's Willie's Reserve tea line.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
Willie
I know.
Nelson.
Yeah, Willie.
Don't let your kids grow up to become tea cowboys. That's not the song? No.
It doesn't matter. Willie.
Right.
Willie. So
he's got his own brand of teas.
and they're all infused
Okay.
with CBD.
I never knew that. I mean,
It's
I don't
great.
know why.
I mean, full. I mean, just delicious tea. Loose leaf.
Okay.
Yeah. So each cup of tea poured roughly 3 milligrams of CBD.
Okay.
More or less.
Okay.
So you got a packet with 20 milligrams. You got a cup with 3. That's still less than the 30 that you
Right,
get out of the
right.
can.
One can
right.
over there.
Okay. So we serve it. There's an educational component at the beginning of the event
Right.
where we give everybody some information about the difference between the two poodles, right?
Okay,
We explain the difference.
The two poodles, right?
And then you're off to the races. Now, the tea room itself is just delightful. It's set up. There's 3 different photo return zones in it. A chaise lounge, a signage thing that says high tea.
Is it around here?
It's right.
I think I'm looking at the address. Is this the address where the?
Yeah, it's right there.
Oh.
We can walk out of here and go there if you want. We'll bring the camera
Do they
with
have
you.
clotted
We'll
cream?
just
Yeah, okay.
So, and so and then primarily bachelorette parties,
Okay.
milestone birthdays,
Okay.
right?
How big of a group do you need to do this? Do you have to book it as a group, or you book it as an individual, or
Well,
a couple?
we do groups only.
Okay.
We'll do deuces. We'll do tea for 2.
Okay.
Because it's cute.
That's cute.
Yeah, right. We prefer bigger groups just
Okay.
because it's a social moment.
Got it.
But the most we seat is 12.
I feel like while you're doing this, you should have a video screen playing BBC classics or something. But if you're doing
We
high tea-
run,
or somebody looking down their nose. at
Watch
you.
yeah, right. No, we folks can they can DJ their own music or whatever. Yeah,
Whatever they do.
whatever. But again, here's what we've done. Then is we've been able to take a seasonal thing, cannabis, which is outdoor grown, and we've been able to build itineraries that allow us to provide some kind of hospitality experience 12 months a year.
Okay. So
Right.
we got the high tea. You got all these different tours.
Yep.
Van,
Yep.
we do have to get on to answer questions
Yep,
here.
I know.
You have a website, I take it.
HappyTravelersTours.com.
Okay.
That's where you're going to learn everything about Happy Travelers.
Do you run year round?
Well, yeah, we do. And then we also run wine tours, standalone
Oh, great.
wine tours.
So
Yeah.
if people, if you're happy traveling involves wine, and I know this because people don't know this, but you used to be one of our volunteers. You know a lot about Sonoma Valley.
I mean,
and
I've
the wine
learned
industry.
more. I've learned more. I'm a font of knowledge. But yeah, we do. So we actually have 3 operating websites. I'm going to plug them all.
Go for it. Ready, go.
So for the cannabis stuff, it's happytravelerstours.com.
That's number 1.
Yeah. For straight wine tour experiences, it's oldvinewinetours.com.
Okay, number 2.
And then we do what we call bespoke concierge service, where we're going to schedule your event, your business meeting, your whatever, and that's happytravelersconcierge.com.
I love it.
I
did
an
not know I
entrepreneur.
was getting 3 businesses.
I'm an
podcast.
entrepreneur.
An entrepreneur. Man, that's great. Okay, so so happytravelerstours.com, oldvinewinetours.com, and happytravelersconcierge.com.
You got that.
If you want to do wine, if you want to do cannabis, or if you want someone who just knows a lot of stuff and can hook you up with different things.
Yep, that's what we
Love
do.
it. Man, that's good.
It's awesome. Sonoma County. There's so much to share.
There's a lot of going on here. There's going on here. Van, I did tip my hat. I did mention before, you were a volunteer with us pre-end times, pre-pandemic. Also, you're obviously a business that we talk to and promote, and you're one of our members and stuff. So you know this stuff, but you're going to help me do something that we call We Get Questions. You ready?
I'm ready. It's sort of like, wait, don't tell me, isn't it?
It's like, wait, don't
it's
tell
sort
me.
of just like that.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so great.
I'm so ready.
If Peter Sagal came on this, I would be so happy. That'd be amazing.
Oh my God. I wonder if we could
Get
make
him,
that happen.
Get him.
Right.
Kai Risdall's coming to.
Are you kidding?
To Wells Fargo Center, LBC. Yeah, he is with the symphony. Kai Risdall from Marketplace.
He's a really interesting guy.
He's got stories. We'll try to get him. Whole other thing. Let's do these questions.
Yeah, let's do this.
All right, so here we go. We call this We Get Questions. Number 1. Ready? Question we got today.
Okay.
Who are those group of men who sit on the plaza every Friday, and what are they doing?
Yeah. Well, after you've been on a tour, sometimes the only thing you can do is sit on the plaza and appreciate the beauty of Sonoma.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
You're referring probably to the guys at the fountain. I think this question is...
She means the guys that hang out next door to your office?
The older guys. They're always on a Friday morning. It's a bunch of old guys just doing what old guys do. They just have coffee. Yeah. So literally someone came up and goes, who are those people?
And what are they doing?
And we're like, well, they're people who live here. This is a park. And I'm like, what do old men do? They have coffee and they talk about when their backs didn't hurt.
Yeah. Wait.
I'm so looking forward to that.
Yeah. Oh, let me tell you. That's not the best part about getting old. Let me tell you what.
They do. All right, here's another one.
Yeah, give me.
Okay, hey.
All right.
I'm looking for a listing of wineries with their hours of operation, their addresses, and what they offer. Do you have such a thing?
Yeah, it's called the internet. You just go and you Google the winery and boom,
it's all there.
You've got all the...
It's all there.
Although the visitor center has a ton of information about wineries. Oh my gosh, they're a font of knowledge. They've got brochures, flyers, and promotions.
Van, you're right.
Yep.
This was a weird moment where she came in and asked us, and I was like, ma'am, this is the visitor center.
Right. It was like, do you think we
drowned her in visitor
We don't know anything.
I know. It was this really awkward moment where Mariana, who was working, was like...
Oh, that's so funny.
She's like, is this woman being serious? Like, is this a candid camera?
Right. But here's the camera.
So, yeah, we do have that stuff.
Yeah.
At the visitor center.
And if you have a phone...
It's all there,
It's all right there, too.
But SonomaValley.com.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
A visitor was visiting from Calgary, which is up there in Canada.
Yeah. Been there.
And she says, there's a tree on the plaza with shocking pink upright flowers that look like tulips, and they're blooming right now. What are those?
Cherry trees?
No, it's not a cherry tree, but you're close. But if I showed you a photo of it, you would get it right away.
I mean, I'm thinking about the plaza.
And it's kind of hiding. It's next to the cherry tree. It's the magnolia trees.
Oh, yeah.
And those are blooming in California.
Yeah.
My understanding is some are deciduous and some are evergreen.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
But these are these beautiful. It looks like a tulip, kind of. And
right.
They're beautiful pink flower.
Yeah.
Well, they don't have them up there, I guess.
Well, and we're almost to cherry blossom time, too.
We are, exactly.
Which is the thing.
That's the next thing. That's what happened next.
I have a story of some folks from Calgary, but... no, it's hilarious.
Off the air.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, hilarious.
We love the Canadians.
Oh, we do. They're so nice.
Do you think they do that just to be mean, though? Like, are they secretly mean, but Canadians are fooling us that they're nice, or are they really nice?
Well, I've met mean Canadians.
Okay.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
They were dentists.
You were not.
They were a group of dentists, and they were just mean.
Mean dentists.
Mean dentists
Well, now
from
we
Canada.
know all Canadians are not. But watch out for the dentists.
Watch out for the mean dentists from Canada. They're sitting on the square drinking coffee.
You are the Fridays. All right, here's one. I'm on the hunt for a good winery with farm animals. And do you know any out there? Wineries with animals, and you're looking for wineries with animals.
No, not really. I mean, Nicholson's was a turkey ranch, but
Okay.
that's in the past.
Dispatched.
They've got sheep grazing. The
Those-
sheep
those
grazing
are farm
thing,
animals.
and that's a farm animal.
Why are the sheep grazing?
This
What
is a great thing, and it's been recent. It seems to me several years now, but as best I can figure, the winery is trying to maintain either its green, organic, or biodynamic certification, and so they're using sheep to keep the vineyards clean versus mechanical or pesticide processes. And the only reason is for that rating.
And then also you save a lot of money usually on fuel and tractor.
Well, I'm not going to argue that, but that's not cheap to dispatch 250 sheep into your. But they're so fun to watch,
Right. What do sheep work for? I think they work for silage, for grain. They're free.
The sheep will work for food, but the shepherd is charging.
Oh, that's true. Someone's got to be there. Oh, like that.
It's a service.
Like that sheepdog that punches in and says, "Good night, Sam. Good night."
Good night. See ya. Right. No, but have you seen them working with the dogs?
So yeah,
it's
out
crazy.
of Klein, Jacuzzi,
all those guys.
Almost every winery, a lot of the organic ones do have it. And going back to your poodle example, these are actually smaller sheep. They breed them to have shorter legs. This is actually true.
No.
Really? This is true. Go look at them. Yeah,
Okay.
It's called baby dolls. They have shorter. They're shorter sheep because that way they can actually move underneath the vines. So
that's hilarious.
True story.
That's
and
crazy.
I'm not making that. So so there's lots of places. There's other places with farm animals. What I would actually encourage though is not a winery, but go out to Charlie's Acres, which is a farm animal rescue.
Right.
Right.
So the problem with the whole farm animal as vineyard thing is that land is so valuable under grape.
Right.
That it's kind of hard to dedicate part of it. Yeah,
large farm animal. You might have one or two. You might
maybe
have like a cow here or there.
Yeah.
But if you have cattle, then you're a dairy and you're doing dairies.
Yeah, you can't.
But you're right. It's not like you have 5 cows and 3
And
horses,
here's some
something like that.
vineyards. That's wine country from the 70s.
Right.
Not wine country from post 76.
There you go.
Right. That's
hobby wine country.
right. Back before
meets hobby farm.
Right before this.
Right.
Yeah.
Before this amazing studio.
Before what we have now. Yeah. Right.
Okay. Here's 3 rapid ones.
Yeah. Okay. Go.
I'm looking for recommendations on wineries with an activity.
Oh, in Sonoma or Napa? Doesn't matter.
to-
Con Creek, man, they got this whole adult play yard in their backyard.
What's it called?
Con Creek Vineyards over in Napa.
Okay.
Seriously, they've got Jenga, giant-sized Jenga.
Okay.
They got bocce. They've got lawn bowling. They've got activities. That's all they do.
I think what they should do though is like a playground from the 60s and 70s. So it's like steel that's super hot, with pointy things.
So we can relive our childhood.
Everyone gets tetanus. Everyone gets tetanus.
And the spinny thing,
and one kid gets caught in the
right.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
That'd be great.
That was me.
Okay. Here's another one. Wineries with the best view.
Oh, well, Sonoma, Fianza.
Yeah.
We got, Gloria Ferrer. You can't
view.
beat that, right? Love that one. Inside itself, up at Benzinger, the view in its own at itself is a beautiful view
Looking
at itself.
back at itself.
Yeah,
They have
looking
great
back
gardens
at
and-
all that stuff
cool.
there.
Okay.
Those would be good. And then maybe if you go to Cundy, and you go up on the hill.
Cundy's absolutely.
Yeah, that
looking
view
back.
from up there,
Okay,
800 acres.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to miss.
Boy, you're good at this.
I'm ready.
Final one they had on this winery with the best cave.
Well, that's problematic. I like the Bella Wine Cave up in Healdsburg.
Yeah, by Dry Creek Valley.
That's a beautiful little property.
That is
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. And they're so nice there.
They are.
And that's a nice cave.
Okay, good.
That would be the first thought I have.
Van, why do people like wine caves?
I have not quite.
They're warehouses that are dug into the ground.
Well, it's fascinating history.
It is a fascinating history.
Like Schramsberg, man.
Okay.
They dug those caves by hand
Right.
starting in the late 1800s.
And a lot of times it was Chinese laborers that came
Totally.
here. They were working either on the railroads
Yeah,
or in the wine caves.
So, I mean, it's crazy, some of that history.
Right.
But yeah, wine caves,
You've seen one cave, you've
Yeah,
seen them all.
no.
So I love a wine cave, but a lot of people really get into wine caves, but no one goes to Iowa to go look at a silo full of soybeans.
Interesting.
Right?
Right. And yet I bet there's some really interesting silos.
I bet you have some great silos.
I bet
you right now in Des Moines, there's a guy going, I'm going to do
a silo tour. Because
with CBD.
Right. Because the biggest silo you've ever seen.
We're going to get letters from the silo guy. He's like, let's do a collab, guys.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I'm open to it.
Van,
we don't care.
You're great. You answered all the questions. You're amazing.
Well, my voice is available for your home answering machine.
Wait, don't tell me. Give me one more time, Van, if people have questions about your multitude of businesses, what are your websites go?
Well, so for cannabis tours, we're at happytravelerstours.com. For wine tours, it's Old Vine Wine Tours. We're so clever. And then if you need help planning an event, family reunion, milestone birthday, retirement party, whatever it might be, Happy Travelers Concierge. Those are our websites. My name is Van, and it's been a real pleasure.
Van, it's been wonderful having you. I want to encourage everyone listening, after you've gone to those websites and you've booked everything he offers, and you want more information about Sonoma Valley, go to sonomavalley.com for deals, special offers, and events. If you've listened this far, you love the podcast, please give it a high rating, subscribe, tell your friends, mom and dad, thanks for listening, and we'll see you all next week. Thank you very much.